Hi everybody, Greg here, and in this week's weekly video, I want to talk about purposeful proper practice. 3Ps, not the original 3P story, which I'll briefly touch on, but another 3Ps, which at this time of year is a really useful thing to remind ourselves of. And I just want to thank the driver who it came up in conversation this week, we'll talk about it in a moment, that helped me to remember how important this is. So the original 3Ps, most of you, I'm guessing, know the story about the guy that used to come and see me, and he always used to talk about the 3Ps, and I had no idea what he was talking about. But it was apparently something that I'd gone through with him, and I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Until we eventually discovered it was actually positive, consistent action. There wasn't 3Ps at all, but he always called it the 3Ps. And that kind of stuck with me as well. If you want to know the whole story, just let me know and I'll tell you. But the 3Ps that we're talking about today is purposeful proper practice. And it came up because a driver this week, we were having a chat and he just said, just a kind of like a throwaway line, I'm on the sim, but I'm not learning. And that was like, oh, right, okay, we need to talk about purposeful proper practice because it's something that we really have to think about when we're investing our time, because that's what it is. We're not spending time, we're investing time in doing the things that we do, whether it's mental skills at the gym, on the sim. We need to make sure that we're maximizing our efforts. We're getting a real return on what we're doing and not just going through the motions, because it's about building skill. So if we always kind of operate within our comfort zone, if we always do the things that we know that we do well, because it's nice to do that, we tend not to improve. We maintain our skill level, but we are not challenging ourselves and we're not pushing it forwards. We're kind of going through the motions. And we're all guilty of it. And I'm sure there's times when you jump on the sim or you're at the gym and you're just kind of doing it because that's what we do, rather than going into it in a focused and process-driven way in order to build your skill, in order to master your skill, in order to push yourself forwards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a few of kind of the words that I associate with purposeful proper practice, and then we'll have a little look at what we mean by it specifically. Improving, learning, investing, mastering, progress, skill, maintenance, the 3 pillars. So those are some of the words that I associate when I'm talking about purposeful proper practice, but let's break it down word by word. So purposeful, what do we mean by purposeful? It means that when I go in to do something, I kind of have an agenda. I have an outcome in my head of what it is I'm hoping to achieve, what skill I am building. You all know I go on about sort of having secondary goals across your race weekend or when you go testing, so that in some way you are a better driver or rider when you walk away from that day, when you walk away from that weekend, rather than just turning up and doing what we usually do. So purposeful and sort of secondary goals are really kind of the same thing. When you sit down in the sim, why are you doing it? What is it you're hoping to achieve? What skill is it you're building upon? What are you purposefully going to be practicing? We have to do things properly. There's no point in practicing something badly or poorly. And it's the same whether we think about going to the gym and having poor form where we're doing either reps or we're doing body weight exercises. If we don't have good form, we're just going to get into a bad habit. So we have to really make sure that whenever we're practicing something, whether it's a mental tool, that we're doing it in the proper way. If it's on the sim, that I'm actually being disciplined in my approach to it and I'm not just winging it and sending it and just being uncontrolled in my approach to it. Purposeful, proper, so I'm doing it properly. Then we go on to practice. Practice is one of those things, it's kind of like, it's not about, positive thinking is about positive doing. It's got to be something that we do. It has to be an action. Thinking about going to the gym, while there's some evidence, there's quite a lot of evidence actually, that visualizing lifting weights can help with your strength. And this is the same with visualization. It generally has to be actioned. We have to action something. Thinking, oh, I think I'll go to the gym, and not going doesn't make us fitter. Thinking, oh yeah, I should work on my mental skills, doesn't make me competent at my mental skills. Thinking, oh yeah, I should get on the sim, doesn't give me seat time. It has to be something that I actually do. So when we talk about purposeful, proper practice, we're talking about doing something that I have an objective. I'm going into there with a clear idea of what I want to have achieved and how I want to be better, or what thing I'm working on when I'm going into it. I have to do it properly. I have to be doing it in a structured way that is the right way to do it. And I actually have to do it. So when we begin to think about where could we apply this to, purposeful, proper practice, the answer is everywhere. So you can apply it to your race weekends, you can apply it to your prep. Think about your 3 pillars of performance. How can you apply these 3 P's, purposeful, proper practice, to the 3 pillars of performance? So we think about skills, the technical skills, purposeful, proper practice. When I'm going out on track, or I'm on the sim, or I'm testing, we can apply it there. Think about the physical pillar of the 3 pillars of performance, purposeful, proper practice, going to the gym, staying fit, nutrition, your diet. How can you apply it to that? You can apply it to everything. Your mental skills, purposeful, proper practice. It's okay to be able to name the tools perhaps, or have your favorite mental tools. But have you mastered them? Do you know them all? Have you got a full toolbox of things that you can use at your disposal when you need to? Or do we just get into these habits again? And so we're really, purposeful, proper practice helps us get out of those comfort zones and drive ourselves forward. So it helps to fuel our improvement. So think about the things that you're currently doing. When are you going through the motions, and where are you actually applying purposeful, proper practice? And how can you apply it more? Just consciously thinking about it. Okay, I'm going to be sitting in the sim. Why am I doing this? What do I want to have achieved? What am I working on? Oh, I'm going to the gym. Okay, let me think about going to the gym today. Why am I going to the gym? Okay, how will I know I've succeeded? Okay, let me just check in with myself as I'm doing it that my form's good. And let me make sure that I get in all the reps that I need to do. Oh, mental skills. Let me just practice. Let me just spend a minute, 30 seconds, 5 minutes working through some things. Let me do some visualization. Let me watch some of the videos, the how-to videos, to remind myself of the actual processes, in case over time we've veered off from that proper practice and we've changed it into something, and there might be things that we've forgotten about. I spoke recently about having to remind people about when we do our breathing, about our hands or our feet going warm, just because over time we diverge and we get into our own habits and our own comfort zones. So purposeful, proper practice is a way of reminding ourselves of what we're doing it properly, so that we get better, so that we don't just maintain our level of skill, but we improve and we make progress towards what we want to achieve. So think about these 3 P's, purposeful, proper practice, and how you can apply it to your race weekend, to your testing, to your preparation, to your recovery. How can you do everything better? Any thoughts, any comments, any questions about purposeful, proper practice, just let me know, and I'll speak to you in the next video. Take care. Bye.